I'm Barry Mattson, CEO of Rise Against Hunger, and welcome to the first installment of the Rise Up video series. So you may have seen some of the Rise Up articles that I've posted, and similarly in this Rise Up video series, I want to share with you more information about our work, hunger as a global issue, and the nonprofit industry, but also bring in some really smart and interesting people. So stay tuned every few months for video conversations or presentations from someone on the Rise Against Hunger team, one of our in-country partners, a corporate, civic, or faith partner, or a volunteer or industry expert. And with these videos, we hope to provide you with a better understanding of what Rise Against Hunger does and why. So for the first video in the series, I'm thrilled to welcome Edna Ogwangi, our Chief Programs Officer at Rise Against Hunger. We always want to make sure that our volunteers and supporters know how they specifically have helped to make an impact toward ending hunger when volunteering with us or donating to Rise Against Hunger. And every year we release an impact report to let you know what Rise Against Hunger is doing around the world to help end hunger. We recently released our 2020 impact report, and as challenging a year as it was, Edna is going to share how Rise Against Hunger worked to address hunger through this global challenge. So welcome, Edna, and over to you.
Thank you, Barry. As he mentioned, Rise Against Hunger publishes an impact report every year, and I'll be sharing highlights of what we accomplished with you today. In 2020, as we all know, as Rise Against Hunger, we called it a year of resilience because we were all impacted globally with COVID-19. However, it brought all these programmatic disruptions and challenges. But in spite of this, Rise Against Hunger and its impact partners rose to meet its moment and new opportunities. We actually were aggressive to develop a COVID-19 resilience plan, and this really helped us to pivot quite a bit. We adjusted, we learned, adapted, and became more resilient. But I would like to highlight that through the support of our donors and you volunteers, our food and nutrition security investments created meaningful change for the people we served in 2020. You may have seen our global impact report on social media, LinkedIn, or any place that you've seen for Rise Against Hunger, even on our website. But I just wanted to highlight a few key impact numbers. We reached more than 2.8 million people. This is a huge impact, despite of the challenges that we had. And this included school children and smallholder farmers. I would like to emphasize on school children. As most of you know, schools were closed here in the US, but also around the world. But we were able to actually reach these children to feed them. We also worked with smallholder farmers who really were instrumental in providing food to other community members. Despite of COVID-19 challenges, we were able to work with more than 85,000 volunteers. You were still there with us during this COVID-19 pandemic. I would like to go and share what our pathways to end hunger looks like. These are our key strategic priorities that we have, and they're ambitious, but we know that they are helping us to meet our mission of ending hunger. With Rise Against Hunger mission of growing the movement, we would like to empower communities by increasing self-sufficiency through promotion of agricultural development, business skills, training, and market access to our smallholder farmers. Through the Nourish Life pathway, we work hard so that we help school children in school settings. And this is where we support nutrition-based safety nets, programs that provide education, training, and opportunities. We also would like to highlight that with all these pathways, the two pathways that we talk about, there's always an emergency here and there. So we have a key pillar for responding to our emergencies. And this is where we distribute our food from our meal packaging events and medical aid to victims of natural and man-made disasters. Our fourth pathway, which is critical for all those who are listening, that's really where you put in the effort to help our mission, is growing the movements. And we grow this movement by building awareness to all of you who are listening, and the will to end hunger by encouraging volunteerism and advocacy. So these pathways really help us to work together. There are four-legged stool that help us to our key strategic priorities. I would like to go deeper and talk about the pathways that I mentioned earlier on. With empowering communities, we work in 5 countries. And with these 5 countries, we were able to serve 6,145 households. And this is just households. If you multiply the number of people in a households, that number kind of moves high to the 45,000 lives that we impacted. I'd like to highlight one key story that I love from 2020 in empowering communities. And this is a story from one of our participants in Senegal. And her name is Sissel, and she took classes with our program in Senegal with our impact partner, Development in Gardening. And she joined, did the training, gained the skills, as we mentioned, planted some crops, and these were high value crops, as we call them, tomatoes, cucumbers, okra. But she got bountiful harvests, and she was able to sell them. She also joined in a co-op, a cooperative where they aggregate the produce with other women, and they were able to sell and get a better price. Cecil said without this, she wouldn't have earned a household income. In a week, she's able to earn more than $120. And this is the success. We know when women thrive, communities thrive too. Our second pathway is nourishing lives. In 2020, we reached to almost 20 countries and reached more than 1 million lives. Out of these, 70% were 0 to 17-year-olds, and these are from K to high school. And they were able to get our meals despite of the lockdowns, the shutdowns that we had during COVID-19. Also during that time, because we couldn't package the meals that we always do, we pivoted quite a bit and started local regional procurements. And this is where we started issuing small grants to our impact partners to purchase food on the ground so that they can continue feeding the kids that really needed the food more than ever. So I'd like to highlight one of the programs that we did in Haiti. And this is where we have one of our participants. Her name is Magdala, who attends in an institutional school. And we work with our impact partner, Hearts and Hands for Haiti in Salon Mission. Magda, was able to come to school knowing that she's not going to have an empty stomach. And thanks to the donors and volunteers who gave us the funds, we were able to continue purchasing food on the ground for children to eat a meal and attend school without worrying. The next pathway I wanted to highlight is responding to emergencies. Because of COVID, everything turned to be an emergency. And we also pivoted to help more than 1.7 million people in 19 countries. I want to give an example of a program in our emergency response that really touched my heart. And this is a program in Yemen. Yemen has struggled for more than 5 years of ongoing conflict to the point that it's now considered the worst humanitarian disaster in the world. For the first time ever, through our pilot program, we, as Rise Against Hunger team, were able to partner with an organization called Muslim Aid to provide food assistance in Yemen. And almost 4,000 people were able to benefit from this assistance. To us, it's not a matter of just doing the job, but it's a matter of saving lives and providing that meal, which is a hope and opportunity for someone. I'd like to turn back to Barry so that we can share the other aftermath of 2020 report.
Well, thank you so much, Edna. Our fourth pathway is growing the movement, and it's all about encouraging more people to join us in this fight to end hunger. We know that it's going to take all of us, and achieving a world without hunger will require involvement and engagement of more people as we all work together towards this crucial goal. 2020 was actually a really odd year for volunteering due to the safety precautions and social distancing. Many nonprofits had to change how they interact with their supporters. At Rise Against Hunger, we had fewer meal packaging events, but we introduced a variety of virtual engagement opportunities. Through meal packaging events, virtual experiences, and digital and social engagement, we still had 85,000 volunteers engage with us. And we saw 1.4 million activations of those volunteers. During a time of such uncertainty, those numbers are a strong indicator that a lot of people share Rise Against Hunger's vision of a world without hunger and are committed to helping address this issue. These are some of the virtual opportunities we launched or began working on in 2020, and we're continuing in 2021 and beyond. You can learn more about all of these at riseagainsthunger.org/engagement-opportunities. In addition to what I've shared today and what Edna's shared today, you can learn more about our impact at the link in our description, as well as by going to our website or visiting our social media platforms. Thank you so much for your support of Rise Against Hunger and your continued commitment to helping end world hunger. I look forward to sharing my next Rise Up video installment with you soon.